Hey, this is Vicky from Bell Book and Candle, which I guess you would already know because you're here. To be honest, I don't know what the difference between a ranch and a farmhouse is. I mean, I sort of know now, and I googled it briefly when I came up with the concept, but for the most part, it was just me, my Pinterest board, and my God against the world when I pressed F2. So yeah. I say all that to say that I am fraudulent. I just wanted to recreate a yeehaw farming situation that I built once for my sim named Kale McDonald. I have uploaded Kale into my Patreon, so if you want him as a townie or to play with him, he's there, and he's got max gardening and woodworking and probably a bunch of other stuff that I can't remember right now because I did play with him for like quite a while. I did age him down to young adult so that he wouldn't just like drop dead if you put him in your game. Unless you want that, then I guess you could do whatever you want. I'm not here to judge. Kale McDonald is alive and well in my safe game, and he's got himself a blossoming farm and a big family. Anyway, back to the lot. The house has a sunroof, which I'm building right now. You can see me putting it in the very center. It's got a large porch and an outhouse and even a stall for yard sales. Yard sards. Yale sales. Big Yales, what have you. Anyway, sorry, now that I've regained composure, I'm back. So back to the house. It was a weird process because I had an image in my mind of what I wanted it to look like because I had already built something similar to this last year. So I was super excited to build it, and as I started building it, everything was going okay. And then when I started to furnish it, I found myself growing extremely frustrated, which happens very rarely when I build. Like, I build to expel creative juices. I build to be creative, not to get like frustrated. I have other video games for that if I want to get frustrated, so I was like furnishing it and it wasn't coming out how I wanted it to look. It wasn't the vibe that I was really excited to, make. And also the outside is similar to the house that I had made last year, but the inside and like the floor plan is different, so it just felt like things were going wrong. I was unhappy with how the furniture was coming out and the general like layout and like look of everything, and I really wanted to use the rattan or wicker chairs from Paranormal Stuff. So I just told myself that the interior furniture was temporary until I could get my hands on Paranormal Stuff. So yeah, I built this in January, but finished it 2 weeks later when Paranormal Stuff was out for the non-game changers. Which, side note, is wild because I saw so many videos that I knew all the furniture already and had thought that the pack was already out because all the game changers were playing it. But it wasn't. So that like extra wait time for the rest of us like lowly peasants was extremely difficult, not gonna lie. It was agonizing. So yeah, I had so many ideas of what I wanted to build with, but we had to wait until EA would grace us with their stuff back. 2 weeks later, I get Paranormal, and I come back to place the furniture with the stuff from the new pack, and I'm looking around and I realize I don't actually hate it as much. And with the stuff from Paranormal Stuff pack, that pack still sounds so weird for me to say. That's why I sound like I'm tripping. I mean, I'm also tripping over myself because I hate doing voiceovers. I'm sorry, but Paranormal. I got the stuff from Paranormal. It looked kind of nice. I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. I think it came together. Looking at it with fresh eyes, I think that the ranch is kind of lit, and like I'd def play Farmville with this little house. But at the beginning, I can very safely say that I was not as generous with my critique of my own build. Though, At the time, I also think that my like doubts about it came from just like generally being stressed from making a lot of stuff quickly, like or slash at once because, well, okay, I feel pressured to make a new video every week, which I know sounds like a YouTube no-brainer. Obviously, the algorithm beast needs to feed. But originally that wasn't the plan at the channel's conception. Like I can pop out a cool, well, cool enough for the internet, I guess. I could pop out a cool build and like muster up an awkward voiceover to go along with it every 3 weeks, but not every single week. So yeah, that's what's going on. Like I'm a baby at this. I'm baby. I literally taught myself the basics, the very basics of editing with my Japanese Reno build. So to go from Googling uh, Adobe Premiere Pro 2017 toots to making full-on little speed builds weekly feels like too quick, at least to me anyway. Speaking of like recorded builds, I have one more, one last pre-recorded build coming that I filmed back in like December, which is like almost 3 months ago at this point, which is like wild to think about. Because I feel like I just started doing this and I'm doing a lot, but it really hasn't been that long. I'm really like bitching for no reason, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I have one last pre-recorded speed build coming, but otherwise, your guess is as good as mine as to what I should create next. I have some ideas for what comes next. 4, to be precise. um, 4 ideas. But I'll take any suggestions, of course. So yeah, I'd enjoy hearing from our viewers at home. Tell me how your day's been going so far. Tell me how your weekend was. I don't know. Y'all don't gotta lurk. I won't bite. I will probably reply. That's the fun thing about like subscribing and writing to like small YouTubers. They're, they've got the time to like write back. I feel like I've gotten so off topic and delved into so many things that were not very yeehaw indeed. My bad. At the end of the day, those wicker chairs, which also, sidetrack, can I just say, remind me so much of my Willa's apartment back in the 90s. Like, it's so, they're so weird. I wouldn't take them to be something from a paranormal stuff pack, but yet here they are. Whatever. What was I talking about? Okay, sorry. Anyway, those 1970s trendy caned rattan chairs brought it together for this build. Those chairs just like saved me. And also I just like hit my microphone because I was so passionate and like moving around when I said that. I'm sorry if that like, if you just hear like a thump. Anyway, we're in the infamous living room that gave me so much grief back in February when oh, just kidding. God damn, I move fast. We're in the hallway. I had already, oh my god, I talk to so much of this build. I should go ranting more often. It helps me just like really like fill up these voiceovers. But yeah, so, oh my god, I'm saying so much and saying so little at the same time. So let me backtrack a little bit. In the kitchen, what can I say about the kitchen? You saw me with my obsession with clutter as I pulled out nearly everything from the Build By catalog and just like dump it on the floor and then put it on the countertops. The bedroom, which admittedly is a tight space, but I didn't skip out on the decorations there either. Though that floor lamp was a bitch to put in because, again, I don't know what's with the Sims and their platforms. They're a little wonky. But you know, we love The Sims 4. She's a little wonky. We like to play her. That's that. The living room has a fun sunken-in living space. And wait, is this build low-key 70s inspired between the sunken-in like living space and the cane chairs? Huh. Well, anyway, what I was gonna say is that the living area, at first, I wanted to make it modest and cozy, hence the furniture. And then when paranormal stuff came out, I wanted to use the gorgeous hippie couch. But before that, the plan was to put in like couches that look like they could have been made with a workbench and just some capable hands. But that concept went out the window once I got the nice couches. I think that like fancy stuff you saw me do like a minute ago stopped my sim from being able to like plant anything, but between saves all that got deleted anyway, and I just like made sure the ground was flat so that like you could plant something. And then I redid the terrain paint mostly similar to before. This area right here is the yard sard. I cracked myself up. I'm sorry. Yeah, the oh my god. Oh, it's happening. It's happening. It's the yard sale area, so that I guess if your sim is growing produce or flowers, I don't know what you want to plant, you can have like a little sale and like your neighbors should come by to buy it. I've tried it once in game, but it seemed to be kind of a lengthy process, so I stopped. But hopefully you guys are more of a hardy player than I am, or would like have more luck. Oh, you know, not only would you be able to sell like produce, but since there's like skill building items on the porch, you could also probably sell like things that you knit or the bouquets of flowers that you can make. I think I also have like a candle making situation going on there as well, so you can pretty much just sell anything. And we're coming up on the pride and joy of the farm, which is the cow plant, of course. If you can trick unsuspecting victims to get swallowed, sorry, then you could even sell milk, I guess. You could be a dairy farmer. Also, don't worry, I do move the rug out from underneath the light pole. I do not leave it there. So by this point, I'm just putting in the finishing touches, which is basically some more landscaping and greenery around. I had intended for this to be in Oasis Springs, so there's going to be like a lot of cactuses and palm trees and rocks. Then comes this outdoor retreat sign, which is probably supposed to be for the forest, but I felt like it'd make a good farm sign. It's fun as a builder to use what the game gives you in different ways to convey a story. Oh, and I mentioned earlier, but this is when I redid the terrain paint for both the pathways and the plant landscaping I had added. I changed my mind a little bit on what car I want in the driveway, or if you could call this driveway, and then settled on something from the debug that looked a little bit more crisp and less blurry, I guess you could say. And added fish from the Island Living pack. Speaking of conveying a story, I added these ribbons to the cow plant fencing because in my mind we're in Alaska and we're growing award-winning, record-breaking, huge-ass vegetables. Ooh, and we're back inside the house now, which means I'm probably going in and changing all the furniture for all the new paranormal stuff, as well as like changing some details. There we go. Look at her go. It's happening. Look at that. Isn't that great? For the furniture, I went for a very like red and yellow theme, which is like really like McDonald's-y. And oh, I meant like McDonald's, a fast food place, not McDonald's the farm, but look at it all coming together in the end, huh? I wanted it to be warm and bright and I guess inviting. Looking back at this now, I didn't realize I had changed so much. I thought I just changed the furniture, but I also changed the wallpaper. I changed some of the layout. I guess I added in a bunch of more plants, which I didn't have in the first place, which is actually pretty weird for me since I add as many as possible. I think also I just really needed to fill up the hallway space and the area that I guess would be considered the mud room or mud hall. I don't know what that place would be called, but if you're a farmer and you're dirty, you probably don't want to like just step into your living room and be messy. You probably want to take off all your stuff in that place. I don't know. I feel like I spend a lot of this build putting down terrain paint, huh? Well, that's it for this build. Please enjoy the screenshots and don't forget to download it off my Patreon.